One of your main tasks in writing an essay is to help the reader make connections and understand your writing well. Transitions allow you to do that. I'll give you 4 rules for writing transitions, and then I'll give you 10 categories of transitions and examples of how to use them. Alright, so rule number 1, structure your essay well. Use transitions in places where they're most likely to help the reader make the necessary connection and move along. Don't use transitions to make up for poor structure. Make sure that your structure is really clear, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to include a link to a full tutorial on how to structure and how to write an essay for beginners in case you're struggling with essay writing in general. Definitely make sure that your essay is structured so well that you don't even need transitions. Okay? Rule number 2, trust the reader. Don't use transitions to summarize what you just wrote. Use transitions to really transition to the next point, to the next material, to the new material. Don't repeat yourself. Rule number 3, proceed from general to specific. So going from general to specific is the mode in which you should be writing your essay anyway. When you're writing an expository essay, which means it is an argumentative essay, you should definitely be proceeding from general to specific and use transitions to help you do that. And rule number 4, use transitions on multiple levels. Transitions can be used to move from section to a section, from a paragraph into another paragraph, or even within a sentence or between sentences. Definitely use transitions on multiple levels, but use them sparingly. Don't overuse transitions. Okay, here are 10 categories of transitions with examples. Okay, number 1, transitions that indicate similarity. These are words like also, similarly, by the same token, just like, as. Let me give you an example. Mozart and Haydn wrote music primarily for the emerging upper middle class. Similarly, Beethoven adhered to the musical taste of this sliver of the society early in his career. Now we're choosing the word similarly, that's a transition, but we can use other words. By the same token, Beethoven adhered. Beethoven also adhered to the musical taste, and so on and so on. Number 2, contrary transitions. But, however, nevertheless, conversely, despite or in spite of. On the other hand, let's do an example. Mozart and Haydn wrote music primarily for the upper middle class and nobility. Beethoven did the same because his sustenance depended on it. However, his creative spirit yearned to write highly evolved and complex music aimed at the connoisseur. Number 3, transitions of order and sequence. These are words like first, second, next, and finally. And let's do an example. Going to college presents great advantages. First, college graduates earn more than those without a degree. Second, higher education enriches a person's inner world. Finally, college is a great way to start friendships that will last a lifetime. As you can see, this is a thesis statement. And in the thesis statement, it is common to use this type of an enumeration where you're listing your supporting points. So the first sentence is the main point, and then we have 3 supporting points, and we introduce them with transitions. First, college graduates earn more. Second, this, and finally that, and that will be the last point. Time transitions. Before, after, meanwhile, in the meantime, subsequently, when. Let's do an example. 2 of the men were on the lookout. Meanwhile, the third and fourth were busy cleaning out the store. Okay? Place transitions. There, here, below, above, in front of. Here's an example. In front of the school stood a hot dog stand, students' favorite food spot. Transitions into examples, specificity transitions. For example, for instance, to illustrate, specifically, to be more specific. These are very powerful transitions because they allow you to kind of zoom in and expand on previous content. In other words, you may be explaining something or you may be stating a point, and now it's time to illustrate it. It's time to provide an example. So now you're becoming more specific, and this gives you a chance to expand your essay. And you can add 1 or more examples, and that's one of the ways for you to keep expanding your essay, which is very powerful. Some kids love school. That's a main point. That's like a thesis, right? So some kids love school. That's an argument that I'm making. And now I'm providing an example. For example, my son is always excited to go to school because he loves to socialize and to learn. Whenever we make a general statement, that's an opportunity for you to use a transition and say, for example, and expand into a specific example. Here's another one. Some subjects are crucial to students' intellectual development. To be more specific, they cultivate such skills and abilities as critical thinking, decision making, and argumentation. So, as you can see, we are unpacking a general statement. We're making a general statement that some subjects are crucial to students' intellectual development. And now we are unpacking the phrase intellectual development. So, intellectual development becomes critical thinking, decision making, and argumentation. You see how we're doing that? We turn one phrase into three phrases by using the phrase to be more specific, by using this transition. So, again, it's very, very powerful. Transitions of emphasis or focus. Truly, indeed, in fact, of course, naturally, importantly. Use these sparingly. Let the reader of your essay decide for themselves. Is this truly, is this indeed, is this in fact, is this really important or not? But again, you can use them to make an emphasis, but use these sparingly. Here are a couple examples. Indeed, Beethoven was an innovative composer. Another one. Naturally, Beethoven's patrons adored him. There we go. Next, transitions of cause and effect. These are such words as therefore, so, thus, consequently, in effect. These are very important, very powerful, and let's do an example. Mozart wrote some of the most original music with catchy melodies. In effect, he quickly gained the favor of the Viennese. This is cause and effect. Mozart wrote some of the greatest music, that's the cause. Now the effect is that he quickly gained the favor of the Viennese people. There we go. 9. Transitions indicating additional material. These are also very powerful because they allow you to expand. These are such words and phrases as moreover, furthermore, in addition, besides. Here's an example. The nobles of Vienna adored Mozart for his musical genius and wit. Besides, he knew how to please them by writing music for soirees and social events that were all the rage at the time. There we go. And 10. Concluding transitions. To conclude, in conclusion, to sum up, finally, in the final analysis. These are perfect transitions into the concluding paragraph, into the conclusion. Let's do one. In the final analysis, both Mozart and Beethoven enjoyed great success and formidable challenges as composers in their lifetimes. This would be just a fine conclusion paragraph or conclusion sentence for a short essay because it's only one sentence. If you happen to struggle with essay writing in general, I put together this tutorial that I call Essay Writing for Beginners, and I'm going to include the link in the description. All right, don't forget to like the video, and I'll see you in an upcoming video. Take care.